Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Advance Wars, episode whatever, 6, 7, pseudo episode 6, 7, so it's still going to be unlisted, but I might make these videos public one day. Actually, I do think I'll be making these videos public. Again, I'm playing as Sammy. Why would I be playing as Sammy if I can just play as Andy and have much greater success? The answer to that question is because I haven't rethought my strategy. Let me rethink my strategy before I explain to you why I like Sammy, or why I'm playing as her. So he's going to have lots of bombers. He has bombers hidden up here. Probably bombers, anyways. And this here is a bottleneck. I want to take advantage of the bottleneck, but at the same time, I'm afraid of... You know what? Instead of having all his A units come towards the bottom left corner, I'm going to try and funnel them up towards the top left corner instead. We'll see how that goes for me. I couldn't really say. Anyways, these first few moves, free moves, I can do as I please with them, I hope. Now time to explain why I like Sammy. Well, why I'm playing as Sammy. It's because, this is interesting, the game is very short. I hope, well, I've begun to realize the game's quite short. I'm already approaching, this is technically the second last mission of the Green Earth missions. After this comes the black hole, I think that's what they're called. The black hole missions, which there's 3 or 4 of them. So I'm going through it very quickly, much to my surprise. So the mission is the game is short, and so instead, to alleviate this shortness, I'm clearly, English is my first language. You can tell, can't you? You can tell because I'm not speaking very good English. And to alleviate this problem, instead there's a lot of replayability where doing missions in certain ways, like for example, there's I can't see, move your freaking name tag. There are missions where if you beat the mission without destroying the entirety of the enemy's navy, you get a skipper mission, or you get a unique mission, so on and so forth. In the case of doing all these missions with Sammy, I first of all, I ship Sammy and Eagle really hard, okay? So, take that as you will. Personally, I think they're a really good match, and even in the second game, you have super CO powers, and is it the third game? You can pair COs together, and you can use both their CO powers in tandem with one another to great effect. To really great effect, especially Eagle and Sammy. They have arguably the most OP, according to the wiki. They have arguably the most OP matchup, where you use Eagles to move every unit twice. What you do is you load up. Oh dear, that's unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. Let's see if I can bait. Because I like my bomber a lot. Where what you do with Sammy is you load her into one of Eagle's transport copters. Eagle then moves, uses his CO power, moves again, unloads, and then you use Sammy's super CO power to move her infantry unit again and capture the base in a single turn. The HQ in a single turn. That's the point of the whole ordeal. Dang it, I can't make it far enough. Oh well. Guess I'll just have to do this the old-fashioned way. You know, this feels much better. Instead of standing on the back foot, I'm jumping in right away. Excuse me, my ear is so itchy. These headphones are so tight. Like your mom. No. These headphones are so tight, I would love to itch myself. Please. So give me a moment. Can you still hear me? I'm over here just scratching. Oh, it feels good. It's heavenly. And I'm back. I apologize. Let me do the other ear too. Just take a listen. Ah! Oh wait, no, sorry. The microphone's really close to me. I just screamed right into it. I'm terribly sorry. That was horrible of me. I hope he doesn't go aiming for my missile units. That was a roundabout way of getting to that spot. If I hide here, it means no. It means only a fighting unit can get me. So I'll do that. That sounds like a good idea. It feels like a good idea. End turn. Let's see. Eagle. Oh yeah, so I'm pretty sure this unlocks I'm trying to speak English. I can't English good today. There's the bomber. Doing the set of these missions with Sammy, all the Green Earth missions with Sammy unlocks, I think, another mission or something. I'm not too clear on it anymore. It's been so long since I really played this game properly. Why did I decide to come back to it? Well, because it's been an absolute... I thought I lost my original Let's Play many years ago, many moons ago. And so I figured, oh well, it's gone. It's disappeared into the ether. I knew I'd made it super private, under several layers of privacy, so there's no way I was simply going to find it. But I thought I'd made it so private that YouTube had just gone ahead and just bit the bullet for me and deleted my playlist. Outright. You know, just put me out of my own misery, so to speak. I know there are anti-air units down there, so I'm not going to rush headlong into there. In fact, I'm going to wait patiently to take out Eagle's units. And hide the rest of them in forests. Ah, dang it. I'd like to... Hold up. Yeah, just hold it like this for the minute. I should be using my infantry. I realize. Oh dear. To try and cross the mountain range. Oh, hello! Frank Walker from National Tiles. Okay, so I was gonna get it. Well, this is... I don't want to harm Sammy. Also, the two of them seem to they ship quite well with each other. I don't know. I was doing this as a what? But hold up, let me pay attention to... What was the unit just beneath this unit that got destroyed? It's a tank. Okay. Keeping that in mind. Oh, it's going to move again. Oh, no! This is why I pulled back early. Oh, well, that was good. Good foresight on my part. I'm a very good player. Yeah, right. Alright, now, moment of truth. I need to... Oh, boy. That's frustrating, that I can't actually reach any of his... What's his name? Sieglund? Oh no, what's his name from Dark Souls? We all love him. All of us do. And if you don't, you're a liar. The Onion Bro! Onion Bro! I was just trying to imitate him. Actually, I do want to speak a little bit about the character art in this game. It gets... I'm used to it, so I don't mind it anymore, but I do think it looks a bit clunky, I think. It's the same feeling I get watching. I mean, I shouldn't have moved the unit so soon. I get the same impression from playing the old Phoenix Wright games, the first three, where... No, just the first one even. If you play around in that, it feels like... There it is. You know what? Yeah, I'll bite the bullet. We'll see where it takes me. Okay, good. I didn't lose any points of damage, because I like my bomber. It's really good for the ground support. I need to be bringing... Oh, I'm afraid there's going to be another anti-air unit, which I just know there's going to be another one. No matter. No matter. I feel like the character art, it all looks a bit clunky, and it doesn't look that great, but I'm used to it at this point. Just go look at Phoenix Wright 1 character art compared to Phoenix Wright 3. Compare the original, all the new characters. Okay, since Phoenix Wright 1 was new, it was all original. But if you compare the original art from Phoenix Wright 1 and compare it to Phoenix Wright 1 again, but the DS Lite version, or the DS version, which has, the very last campaign, it has new characters which were made, which make an appearance in Phoenix Wright 3, or you can just look at Phoenix Wright 3 original art, and the character designs and character art looks considerably nicer, I would argue. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not an artist, and I wish an artist could come out and tell me, yeah, yo, bro, it's because of the ratio of whatever, and the color palette, yada yada. But I don't know these things. Hold up. Oh, sorry. I thought for a minute there was an artillery unit firing at me, and it gave me a small heart attack. There's the artillery unit I was speaking of. You know what? Same deal. Oh, you jerk! Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, get rid of the anti-air because I want that air superiority. So with Sammy's ground units, it's probably great. Oh jeez, I'm gonna need to. Da 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 doo 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 doo. It's great. I love this soundtrack. I would love to destroy that. So here's what I'm thinking: move the artillery unit out of the way. Artillery. Oh yeah, see, I was worried that if I'd move this guy away, the recon unit, the tank would become invisible, but I have a helicopter underneath it. So I'll keep that in mind. So yeah, order of movement, very important. But I'm not going to be able to destroy it. I'll have to use my helicopter to destroy it. But then what? See, if I just stayed on top of everything and had been bringing my infantry units along with me, this wouldn't be as big a problem. You know what? Yeah, I'll just get rid of the tank. And hope for the best. And, well, this is fun. This is, yeah. Awkward silence. Yada, yada, yada. This is something I've also noticed. Oh, I just sort of know from experience of... Oh, God, I can't make it far enough. From experience of sorts. Don't talk about the commentary. Don't be all meta and talk about commentary. Like, oh, I need to work on my commentary, yada, yada. Because it's boring. It's really boring, and but at the same time, I need practice. And here I go, just doing it, you know? Just talking about the commentary because I have nothing else to talk about, yada, yada, yada. I could be talking about what I did, what I've been doing recently. I don't know. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I watched a GDC talk. Darren Korb, Super Giant Game. Oh, that's something I totally wanted to talk about because I love Pyre, the most recent. Oh, well, I like it a lot. I won't say I love it, but I like it a lot. Has that anti-air unit fled? It looks like the anti-air unit is fleeing for the purposes of healing up, which I'm okay with that. If you'd believe. I'm okay with that. Time to use my bomber to enact event. Oh! Okay, time to instead. I can't reach far enough. Do I need to get rid of my artillery units? I feel like I need to get rid of these artillery units because they'll cause me a lot of grief in future. Something I noticed, Pyre has a bit of a stroke of genius. I'm not sure if I've spoken about this a lot, but I've thought about it a lot. There's a bit of a stroke of genius in the way it is set up in its sort of 42, and I can pretty much, if I attack this bottom, yeah, not a solid plan that there. No. This is bad. See, this is what annoys me. Movement order is important. This will do this. This will do the job. So as you notice, I lost this mission, so the game solution is to kick me out, just reverse time, have me redo the mission from the beginning, all over again. Which is, there's nothing explicitly wrong with it. Maybe I should use my CO power just for lols. Nah. There's nothing wrong with it explicitly. It makes for very... Because oftentimes you have developers who want to try and... They want to... the word would be... I'm going to use my CO power. I should have done it earlier. They want to try to accommodate for player loss. So whenever you lose, maybe you take an alternate route. There's an alternate route available to the player to use. And things like that. But unfortunately, that involves handcrafting new content, or if not handcraft, which takes a lot of work. So maybe you avoid handcrafting, but instead make a very generic system of every win moves you up onto the good path, and every loss moves you down to the bad path. So if you get more than 3 losses, you get the bad ending. If you get more than 3 wins, you get the good ending, something like that. Which is very arbitrary, very boring, and doesn't really create any new content per se. Whereas Pyre is interesting because it accounts for player loss, but it's sort of built into the core gameplay loop, or the core of the game in the first place. Let me explain. If you haven't played Pyre, it's basically fantasy basketball. It's much to my surprise. It's an RPG fantasy basketball game. Are you serious, man? You can't beat my infantry. My grade A infantry. And so it's set up like a sports, like a ladder, like a sports tournament, where losses. Oh, there's a little bit of player consideration, where if you don't lose, you don't make it to the. I mean, where there's a final. I'm using sports terms to explain it, but there is a final. But instead of, oh gosh, I'm surrounded on all sides by. Can I? That's a bad idea. I can destroy. So to use sports terminology, there is a final, so you have the sports tournament and then there's a final. The game automatically sort of makes it so that you always make it to the final no matter what, which might feel a bit cheap, and in a sense, yeah, it is a little bit cheap, but at the same time, it gives them a lot of freedom to do as they please. Yeah, destroy that. Because it means no matter if you win or lose, you're always going to make it to the final. But it's really important who you fight in the final. There's a lot of the way it's set up. And because it's a tournament, you can lose, that's accounted for. It's accounted for by the winners moving up in the ladder and the losers moving, or in your case, you. And the losers moving down. If it's you, you don't move down. I'm not playing the game anymore. I'm just busy chatting away. Let's, I want to destroy this guy. Yes, please. So that's I think it's a bit of a stroke of genius in that sense, where player loss is accounted for. You'll need to play the game to really understand the appeal to it and how the implementation of it, because I do think it's quite well done. Oh god, I'm wasting my tank fuel. Do it this way. Yeah, do it this way. So even when you lose, you're still progressing in the game to a good outcome, because depending on who wins and who loses has a great deal of impact on your goals and what you want to achieve. And the thing I love about Supergiant games is most people will talk about the art and the music, which is fair enough. Yes, that it's a big help. It goes a long way in keeping the game amazing. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I'll take that. But I find Supergiant games to be really good developers outright, and I wish, while they'll never be able to rival the scope of a AAA game, the quality of their games is, I find, to be just personally absolutely incredible. There are bombers up here. I now remember. Sheesh, that's scary. So I'll need to keep. So, for example, just their approach to... Are you serious, man? You can't do that much damage. Jesus, wow. So, I remember the first time playing Bastion, the thing I found most impressive by it is like the very holistic approach to the game development. Because they have a very... Believe it or not, the world of Bastion is incredibly fleshed out. If you pay attention and look at the small details, there's a very rich world building happening in the background. And you can see the writer is very skilled in that regard. You can see he's putting he's putting it on his sleeve, so to speak, in their most recent game, Pyre, because the game is basically all world building. That's not a bad thing. That's just what it is. It is what it is. Make of it what you will. I wonder if there are any units just chilling around down bottom, because I'd like to start healing up. Hi! I say hello a lot also, I've realized. Always going, hello! So there's a very holistic design, so the world building is excellent, and it's all unified beautifully. The visuals of the game, the musics of the game, the story, the voice act, it all comes together beautifully to create a holistic, fulfilling, wholesome experience. And that's all the games, I feel, do that very well. And that's what, to me, what sets Bastion apart. Not Bastion, Supergiant games apart from every other indie game and every other indie company ever. They have very good... They're just very good developers, is what I'm trying to say. It's how I feel about it. If you want to know more, which I'm sure you'd probably love to, check out the GDC talk of making the audio for Bastion, where it's done by Darren Korb. It's very introductory, which is sweet. So you can listen to it and get a good feeling, a good understanding of everything, which is much appreciated. Thank you very much, Darren Korb. What else? But he also talks a little bit on a lot of other things as well. So even though it might be a talk focused on how he created the audio, he also talks about how he did narration, how the story was built, and how the game was generally built. And that's awesome. It's really great. This guy refill. Yeah, they refill. ABC units refill air units. Good news. Just take my time. Slow and steady wins the race. Excuse me? I need retreat. Where is he? Where is that unit? Most likely here. Maybe here. So that means if I... Can my tank reach it? Yes, it can. So does that mean if I can... If I do this... Voila! Found you! Okay, you gave me a lot of grief last mission. I'd like to destroy though, because... No, unfortunately I'll need retreat. Or I could sacrifice my tank. No, I don't want to sacrifice my tank. There might be rocket launcher units in the background. You know what? YOLO swag. Don't say that! That's disgusting! YOLO swag. So just to finish gushing about Supergiant Games, I feel like they are a very good company. And... Oh, you know what? Why bother? That's the question. And as you can see in the sequels, they work to their strengths, no doubt, but they do try to twist it in new ways. So even though Transistor felt a lot like Bastion, I do think Transistor is their... I think Transistor is their best game, but I personally like Bastion the most. I'm sorry to all you fans who feel offended by that. That's just a personal taste. Personal taste. That's just what that is. Take it as you will. We'll move this guy down to the bottom, start capturing. Let's start healing up my tank, because that guy's important. And just generally wait. Yeah, just wait. And I wish more companies... And they're pretty... Supergiant are probably one of the most famous indie devs out there. And with good reason. But they're also... I feel like they're one of the bigger indie devs. Right now, their team size is about 12. When they were making Bastion, it was originally 7. For Transistor, it increased to 10. I think it would have been 10. 10 sounds about right. And for the end of Pyre, it's 12. Which is... It feels like... 12 feels like a really good number. It's bigger than most indie devs. Most indie devs just kind of... not... I don't mean this insultingly, but it's usually 2, 3, up to 5 people, typically. Which is that's normal, and 3 people because you have a sound guy, so that's for music and Foley. I'm not going to call Foley. You guys don't know what Foley is. Foley, actually, I'll teach you. Foley is the art of in movies how they have to make sounds for basic things like doors opening, footsteps, creaking of a floorboard, whatnot. That sound design is the responsibility of Foley artists. That's what I think it's pronounced Foley, Foley. Wikipedia, really interesting. So that's what they do. Walking, brushing of fabric, you name it. Lava popping. Oh dear, there's of course that prick is over there. Pardon my French. So you have 3 guys typically. You have the sound guy, which is responsible for music and audio design and whatnot. You have the programmer, and then you have the artist. So the programmer is responsible for all the logic. The artist responsible for the art and animation. You name it. So that's why team sizes tend to be around about 3. It's a good number. It's a good number. There's nothing wrong with it. Let me try and send my recon unit further up. dear. Oh, not my MD tank. I wasn't paying enough attention even. Was he here? So if I move this guy, you know what? Use my helicopter. Okay, I've got my eyes trained on you. And no doubt I know for a fact there's going to be another bomber. I could, again, try to wait it out, but I'm not going to do that again. That was boring. It's also a shame seeing... let's stop talking about indie companies and indie games. As much as I love them, I got into them... I hate it. I sound like a hipster whenever this conversation crops up. It's like, oh, what games do you play? Oh, you wouldn't know them. They're all indie games. I feel like such a new age hipster. It's a yucky feeling. I'm like, oh god, and I hate hipsters. I have a couple of hipster friends, though. I'm a trendsetter. Oh god, that sounds really harsh. I'm so to clarify, because I'd like to clarify. Generally, the current landscape of the AAA scene is not to my taste. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just not to my taste. For example, lots and lots of... Well, when I really started getting into indie games 6 years ago, 4 years ago actually, 5 years ago more accurately, it was... Most of what was AAA was shooters, lots of shooters. And personally, I'm not a big fan of shooters. I'm not very good at them, I don't like them, I don't like them. And so having this AAA scene with lots of shooters, or that was sort of the predominant third-person shooters, first-person shooters. There are, of course, games like Assassin's Creed were out. Those were cool. That had me interested, but I just never got around to it, to be honest. Whereas indie games, this was a whole new sort of brand. It was brand new to me, never before seen. It was exciting, and lots of these fresh games, and it introduced me to the roguelike genre, or the rogue genre, or the roguelike light, whatever you want to call them. I had a lot of fun with that. Hold up, I'm afraid. There we have it. There's the missiles unit. Let's sort of set this up like so. Just so I can rain death from above. And move you up to here. Roguelike genre, which is... that is to my taste. Oh, it's an acquired taste. I love roguelikes. You can expect me to play some roguelikes on this channel. Not long form 100 episode series, because I don't want to do that. But more so, hey, I could imagine myself streaming a roguelike, or making a couple of episodes. There's a few roguelikes which I have yet to complete to my liking. So perhaps I could, no, don't drop. I could do a series of roguelike, or do a mini-series where I'm playing a roguelike to completion. Not 100% completion, but complete it to the point where I unlock the, the secret ending or something or whatever. And then end it there, because I don't want to become like Northern Line, that channel, which I enjoy and I watch every now and then. And I try to imitate, actually. So if... There's another unit. There's another bomb right there. Okay. Well, bomber. This will come at the end of the mission. Well, I don't want to become like Northern Light, where he has thousands of episodes of Binding of Isaac out, and hundreds of episodes of all other... not all other roguelikes, but he has lots of episodes of other roguelikes. I don't want to become that. But I do enjoy roguelikes, and they are, believe it or not, so much easier to commentate over versus a strategy game. Where a strategy game, I actually have to actively apply foresight and thought versus... oh god, no, move him over here. I don't want to destroy that unit. I want to keep him. I just want to block this unit like this, because I just want him to know that he's about to die. Day 23, sheesh. Roguelikes I find a lot easier to commentate, because I can just talk, and I practice. I did practice wrong with Spelunky. I actually beat Olmec. It was a half-hour run, 1 hour of recording. Not going to release it. It's a shame. Too bad. Where I beat the boss, and I was commentating over it. 1 hour episode, though the actual run itself was a half-hour episode, and it felt good. So I think that this is feeling like a pretty good note to leave this off on. Let's get to the dialogue. Quick, smart, fair dinkum, to bring out the Australian slang. Let's give this a read. Start talking, Eagle. I'm listening. Very well. I'll tell you everything, all about it, all about how Andy attacked my homeland, Green Earth, but it was a clone. Andy looks like a nanny I had many years ago. If you look at Andy, if you like the victory screen, just have a look at him. You could imagine him being a girl, like an elderly woman in her 40s, 50s, with a short haircut, who grew up in the country, so she doesn't have really any real fashion sense. And so that's why she would be wearing overalls. And be a bit of a tomboy as well, which is why she's holding a wrench. And that's how a younger me saw Andy. For a little bit, I just needed confirmation he was a boy. B rank, never an A rank, because why would I ever get an... Oh shit, I'm clipping. Anyways, on that note, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate the viewership. Stay tuned, there'll be another episode coming shortly. I'll need to take a little break. I'll be recording back to back. So there's lots of content coming up for you folks. Until then, well, I guess, save please. Have a great day.